this is Lucy with a Fallout 76 camp tour video and building tips and tricks, and I wanted to do a bit of a channel overview, a little bit about who I am and what I have planned for the channel. I'm on Scarlet, who is level 30. It's a nice rainy day in Appalachia. The last time I tried to wait the rain out, it was 5 hours in game, so I thought I'd just carry on today. Obviously my name is not Lucy. Lucy comes from the fact that I play Lucy Jane Tyler in Wasteland Doverkeens. Let's Roleplay Fallout 76. I had a Google account with that name, and it seemed a good idea to start the channel on that. I have in the past had, as a single female gamer, I have had problems in the past with guys being a bit too enthusiastic, so also given the fact that I do have a real world online presence for various jobs and things I do, I would like to keep those identities separate. I also have a very unusual name, so if you knew my name and googled me, you would get every piece of information about me. So for the purposes of gaming, I am Lucy. I live on my own with 3 cats. I am involved with someone though. And I have been a gamer pretty much most of my life. Board games, RPGs. I have played Dungeons and Dragons, although it's not one of my favourite RPGs. I have more enemies. I love this spot, and it's a low level area, but I'm constantly being bombarded by enemies. At the moment, technology wise, I don't have huge amounts of spare cash. I will probably get a video capture card at some point. I'm streaming on Mixer and creating videos from those streams at the moment. My Xbox died recently. I had to buy a new Xbox, so I have actually sent my old one off to be repaired, so I will have a spare Xbox, which means that I can then move that to closer to my gaming PC. I do have a gaming PC. I used to play on Steam a lot, but I've been Xboxing for about 8 years now, and I much prefer that. But because of real world problems with my home and everything I need to do to it, and fish tank, blah blah blah, I can't currently put my Xbox next to my PC, but when I have a spare one, I will probably do that. So for today, a few weeks ago, Bethesda gave us a shed. According to that, it's a potting shed, but the door is a seedy shed. So I don't know. I hadn't noticed that before. I wanted to do something with it because it's a really pretty piece of kit. But why? I just don't get it really. I would rather have had the building pieces. So I wanted to do something with it to kind of make it feel like it was worthwhile. Now, if you do any building in 76, you'll know that everything is built on this square tile basis. This shed does not fit within that. So, and you can't snap it to foundations. I thought I would turn it into a tiny house. I love tiny houses. I'm not sure I could actually ever live in one, but I like the idea. And so I built a tiny house with the shed. Obviously, because of the gaps, I decided to make use of them. So there are carrots down here, and despite the fact that I get attacked a lot, I must admit none of my crops have been damaged. And there are potatoes and corn around the back. I put workbenches around the outside, and also my mute fruit. To put your mute fruit in pots, I planted my mute fruit, and then I placed a foundation tile over the top, and it will let you do that. These white pots come from the Whitesprings. I can't select them. Let's see. Won't actually let me select the pot, which is very useful. Basically, all you do is select your pot. It's from Pendleton, the Whitesprings vendor that sells all the plants. It looks like a potted plant, and you have all the potted plants in there, but there is an empty one. And all you do is you literally just slide the pot over the it will go over the mute fruit stalk. And there you have potted mute fruit. Have a water purifier. I put this little area up top. I did originally have it all the way around, but I thought it was too much. My turret sits up here. These are table steps. I do have marsupial, so I can jump quite high. And I have guitars up here, a lamp and a bench. There are some quite nice views here. You can see top of the world up there. I've built here before. It's between Morgantown and the Bowling Green. But, as previously said, you do get a lot of enemies. They are low level, but it is annoying. There's an enemy spawn point over in that direction, and I believe there's an enemy spawn point down here, and an enemy spawn point over there. So, especially when I'm trying to record, they like to come and visit. I use the silent Voltec generators because, well, they're silent and they don't give off smoke. They were an Atom Store purchase. This door, on a regular door frame, will fit either way. I prefer normally to have doors that open inwards. But on the cedar shed, it won't. It will only go that way. It will go on, but it leaves a big gap for some reason. So this is the interior. All of these little plants came from the Atom shop, and the rug. The presents were from Nuclear Winter over Christmas. I just sat in a bush a few times. I'm not keen on PvP. I do occasionally play Nuclear Winter, but only if there's something I want a plan. Obviously a bed, a cooking station. If you do use this, you will basically levitate, but it was easier to get that on than to put a full stove in here because of the limited space. If I turned that 90 degrees, could, I suppose, sit on the worktop then. I've put things on shelves. This isn't a particularly great version because it was so tight spaced. I couldn't get mats in, so I just used the little sheepsquatch toy because you can pile stuff up on him. Wasteland Dovahkiin has done a video on how to do this more effectively, and I have done it better in other camps. I wondered if you could blueprint this, because I have made tiny houses in the past and been able to blueprint them, which was quite useful. I have tried to blueprint this, and basically none of the things that are attached to it, like the wind chimes or the pots or any of the interior, will blueprint with it. So it was pointless from that point of view. But I think it works quite well as a tiny house. And it has everything you need to survive. Because I built that and I was thinking about tiny houses, I wanted to revisit a tiny house that I built a long time ago on one of my other characters, Nora. I think she was about level 10 or 11 when I built this camp. This camp will blueprint. If you have posts on corners, they will be removed, but they're fairly easy to replace. And the other thing was the roof at the back, because the chimney is through it. The roof will detach. But other than that, I've been quite successful in blueprinting this camp. I got the idea from this from seeing a tiny cabin on Pinterest. I like the shape. It is very half wall, sloped wall, full wall, sloped wall, full wall, half wall, sloped wall, and then obviously rather than keep going up, this one comes down. It is one wide. And I've managed to get pretty much everything in here. When I built this previously, I built the floor out and put workbenches. I haven't bothered to replicate that on this. It's just for demonstration purposes. I do like the seedy shed door, so I've used that on here. There's a bench there to sit down and take your boots off. Sheep Squatch ate my brother poster. This one has full cooker. I have artichoke soup cooking at the moment, as you can see. This is a new Atom Store item. It's an icebox refrigerator. Table and chairs. A couple of easy chairs, some stash boxes. This fireplace is actually currently May 2020, still available in the Atom Store to purchase, I believe. I used the wallpaper on here is a new one that came out this week or last week. I think it works quite well in here. Go up the stairs, tiny bedroom with a bed. I put these here to stop you falling down. It doesn't really work. I did have the idea, these little Nuka-Shine kegs were an Easter, they were free in the Atom shop over Easter. They work quite good as lampstands. I have used no electrical lights in this camp, it's all candles and lanterns. The wall candles and the lanterns are available to buy, the plan is available to buy from the Whitesprings. I think Pendleton sells it, and I've forgotten what it's called. So I will look that up and post it in the comments below. So that's this one. It's kind of a rustic little camp. You can put it down. It's nicely decorated. It's got everything you need to live in, and you can just add your workbenches outside. Try and do something completely different. I have built a couple of container houses in the past. Obviously these aren't real containers because those don't exist, but I have used this combination of metal and wood. You can use just all metal or even all wood. And this is a simple container house. I used the new fire pit from the Atom Store. You get a well rested bonus. It's a bit like going to bed. It has the same effect as sleeping. Well rested bonus, and it heals you. All of the workbenches are in here, downstairs. There is space for other stuff if you want it. I put the power armour frame under the stairs. It does actually work, I have checked. Because this is pretty much at ground level, if you were building it on a hillier area, you might need to add another foundation. I haven't blueprinted this camp, but I have blueprinted similar camps, and again with the posts on the corners it will remove those, but otherwise it should blueprint. I have a little turret up here. The grill, this animation's new, with the coals in it, and also I believe there is a spatula art animation that goes with it. Little seating area. This is the house. Again, I use the tabletop stove. I do like these tiles. I used half walls to create this sort of split effect. So you have a tile splashback in your kitchen. I have been using that in a few of my camps in the last week. A couple of stash boxes, seating, a bed. This wallpaper was the Nuka Shine wallpaper that came as part of the Easter special. You collected all the barrels, and at the end of the week you got free, if you collected all of the free items in the item shop, you got a free wallpaper. As far as the channel goes, early days, I want to try and get my technology a bit more synchronized so I can produce better quality videos. I plan to do more builds. I have, after speaking to a couple of friends, I might actually do, I have trained people in IT before, in my various careers. I'd like to do a kind of really basic building 101 video, because there are still new people coming into the game, and there are still people that built a camp 18 months ago and have never changed it. So they don't like building, they don't quite understand how the build system works, or they haven't had time. So there are lots of reasons that I think that that is still relevant. I think that there are videos. I played a bit of No Man's Sky last year, and despite being a long-term gamer, I watched a video on YouTube of, 10 things you must do at the beginning of the game, and I was completely lost. And although there are a lot of building tips and tricks videos out there, some of them are out of date because things have changed in 76, and also I think some of them go too quickly, they're too fast. And I know it took me a couple of goes to figure out how to put posts on corners. I had to watch a video twice, which was sort of embarrassing really, but I'm not the only one. I'd like to do some funny skits, maybe with Blue, who plays my husband in the Let's Play. We have discussed it. I don't know whether I can actually persuade him. We'll see. I have a few different ideas. I have been playing in Ark the last about 3 or 4 months. I'd like to do some Ark builds, maybe some tutorials about Ark. I have recently started a new Fallout 4 playthrough, which will be my 4th one. And I'm curious how... I've done some amazing builds in Fallout 4. Unfortunately, when the last update came through, it did trash my last save. It uninstalled all my mods, I had a few problems, so I thought I'll start again. I am curious how building in 76 will influence my building in Fallout 4. One of the things I always tried to do in Fallout 4 was pack my settlements with settlers, and I think I'd like to do less. So maybe bigger houses, more complex designs. I do play modded. In all of the Fallout 4 playthroughs I've done, I have had a bug that has been game breaking that I have only been able to fix by using the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. So as soon as you install that mod, you may as well install whatever mod you want, because achievements are disabled. I don't play with a huge amount of mods, but I like to have dog meat with me all the time, and I obviously use a few building mods, but we'll see. I'd like to revisit No Man's Sky. I did find it a bit lonely playing on my own, so I'm gonna hopefully try and persuade someone to play with me. But I like building in No Man's Sky, it's completely different. And I have been playing a little bit of ESO. And who knows what games might come out in the next couple of years, so I'm going to keep plugging away at this, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you for watching.